This is Cubs Pregame Live, presented by Subaru.
1-5 is, no matter what part of the year it is obviously not a good stretch by no means. So, it's an everyday grind out here, and you just whatever you can do to win a baseball game and get back on track.
It is a beautiful day for baseball at Wrigley Field. Close out a homestand. Close out this four-game series looking for their first win in the four games. The Cubs and the Brew Crew will tee it up for the friendly confines at Wrigley Field. Welcome to our Subaru Pregame Live. Alongside Todd Hollingsworth, I'm David Kaplan. 1-5. If you go in a 1-5 stretch in August, people go, oh, you had a bad week. When you start 1-5, people start to look and think it portends the future.
Well, you can hide it in your record when you're 1-5 to start the season. It's all you got to go on. There's only been 1 week of baseball, and unfortunately for the Cubs, it's getting everybody's attention. This is a team that, on some levels, is not as talented as their competition. But again, the challenge is there. What is that challenge? Listen, this is a team. Most people, we get it. We understand. They're not expected to win this year. You've got to find the small victories, and what you learn in your defeat is going to make you not want to go there ever again. Learn what's going on right now, pay attention, and make sure you build this thing the right way so that when this thing does turn around, it's for a long time.
All right, now yesterday, Ryan Dempster gave the Cubs his second straight solid outing. Beck had a very good chance to win, but the offense didn't do much, and he made one mistake. A home run to George Kataris yesterday in the seventh inning. It was a 1-0 lead, and Kataris took him out of the ballpark.
Well, are we expecting our starters to be just that perfect? Ryan Dempster's been lights out first two starts, and yes, he makes one mistake late in the ballgame, ultimately cost him. But that is because the offense is not clicking right now on all cylinders. Not enough to score enough runs, certainly playing from behind. But that starting rotation, they're doing their job. Let's not dig too deep.
And they had their chances, as you just saw in some of the highlights. They get two men on multiple times and can't get a bunt down, can't get guys over, can't get them over, get them in. And it ends up they lose 2-1. Again, had even a chance in the ninth inning with men on base. And for whatever reason, it seems like when their men get in scoring position, they get a little tougher to hit.
No, those situations are going to present themselves all throughout the year. The key, the challenge for this team is to continue to put yourself in a position to win a ball game. The Cubs have done just that. Now, the more opportunities you get at winning a ball game, you're eventually going to figure it out, and you're going to get it done. It's learning how to hit with runners in scoring position. There's nothing you're going to practice in spring training that's going to make you great at it outside the game itself. Keep putting men on second base. Keep giving yourself opportunities. You will become comfortable. You will become more confident. You will become better.
All right, let's go down to the field. Patrick Mooney, CSNChicago.com. Cubs insider, travels with the team. We had a chance to talk to Theo Epstein a little bit earlier. But, Patrick, I want to start with Marlon Byrd. His struggles, 1 of 21 to start the season. The one hit opening day drove in the only run in a loss that day to Washington. He's not in the lineup today. What's your take on what's going on at center field?
Yeah, Cap, if you look at it, if this happened, it's just like what you guys were saying. If this happened in the middle of the season, maybe people would glance over it. But obviously, with the way Marlon started, it really sticks out. Dale Swain's an old hitting coach. He talked about a couple mechanical adjustments he'd like to see. Lots of jargon that, Holly will probably better explain. But being more linear, getting through the strike zone. And I know where you're going with this. People are going to be wondering about Brett Jackson. Obviously, he's their guy of the future. But I think a lot of that is going to depend on him, what he does in Des Moines the next couple weeks, maybe months, making sure that he is that finished product once he gets here to Wrigley Field and starts playing center field every day for the next couple of years.
Patrick, would you agree or disagree that maybe Marlon Byrd is feeling some pressure from his circumstances, pressure from his contract, pressure that his name is in trade wins and trade rumors that are out there, maybe putting a little bit too much on himself in the early going?
Yeah, you know what it's like in that clubhouse when you're going out there every day. He certainly recognized that Jackson was coming, and to his credit, he really kind of helped him out in spring training. He's a guy who's big on routine. He knows how to prepare, and Brett Jackson himself said Marlon's it was great helping him those past couple months in Arizona. So certainly I think he's feeling it, but at the same time, he's been around for a long time. He knows these things usually balance out. He was an all-star in 2010, and really, it's 6 games. That's what it's tough to remember that when you see those numbers up on the scoreboard.
Matt Garza going to the bump today. Now, last year in his first season with the Cubs, 7 times he left a ball game, most of them in the 7th inning or later, with a lead, and had nary a victory to show for it. He was 10-10, had every chance to win 16, 17, 18 ball games. He's got 1 start this year, leaves with the lead, and again, doesn't get a W. What do you think his feeling is with all of these games that he's piled up that he can't get a W? And do you believe come trade deadline in July, he will still be a Cub?
Yeah, Cap, I think eventually some of those wins, if you ask Dale Swaim, are going to come down to Matt Garza. He needs to improve his defense, not be launching balls into the stands on kind of routine comebackers. And if he gets a little better bunting, maybe he stays in the game for an extra inning or 2 and gets some more of those wins. I do know that people in that clubhouse really like what he brings to the table. His energy, his competitiveness. And the Cubs recognize those qualities, and they realize you need top-of-the-rotation type talents if you're going to win in October, and those guys don't come around too often. They're comfortable with kind of Garza's personality quirks, and I think that they're looking big picture over the next couple of years. It's not going to be a decision they're going to wake up on July 30th and say, hey, we need to move Matt Garza. I think there's a real comfort level with who he is and who he can be for this rotation moving forward.
Patrick, appreciate the knowledge. And again, everyone can read all of your information on a daily basis at csnchicago.com. You travel with the club on a regular basis. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
All right, there he is, Patrick Mooney, our CSN insider on the Cubs. Now, the pitching matchup today is a really good one. Zach Greinke, who is a Cy Young caliber pitcher, against Matt Garza. Should be 2 really good locked-in righties.
No, it's going to be a lot of fun. If the Cubs show up and give us some offense, I think that's really what it's going to come down to. Matt Garza, I'm expecting him to take the next step. Right now, I got him as a number 2 in just about anybody's rotation, but he's becoming elite number 1 type stuff. Going back to last year, last 7 starts, 4-0 with a 2+ ERA, 2.24. I mean, that's getting it done. He is taking the steps. We are eyewitnesses to the progression right now. It's been a lot of fun. Zach Greinke, I'm thinking 2009. You know what happened in 2009 with Zach Greinke? He's American League Cy Young winner. Spring training, sub-1 ERA, striking hitters out, not walking anybody, getting it done, being aggressive. His cutter's there, his slider's there. He's been dirty. Cubbies, you got to be on their game today.
Right now, he broke off reportedly contract negotiations with the Brewers yesterday. Deal up at the end of the season, so a top-of-the-rotation type talent could be ready to hit the market, and he will be using it as a job audition every time he goes to the hill. 2-1 against the Cubs last year. He's a guy that really knows how to pitch in this park because he keeps the ball down.
Well, he keeps the ball down and he's aggressive. He's not going to walk too many hitters. He's going to get the strikeouts. They're going to pile up, but that's a direct reflection of his talent, his ability, what he's got. You're talking fastball, 92, 94. He started using a cutter last year, incorporates the slider. At times he becomes a 2-pitch pitcher. That can be an advantage, and he is very aggressive. He wants to throw strikes. He wants to get ahead. He manages his pitch count well, but the Cubs, what they did last year when they got to him, they were equally aggressive. The strikeouts were there. Yes, he struck out 10 Cubs that day in June, but you know what? The Cubs got on him. They put pressure on him, and they got some big hits and big spots, and they were able to score 6 earned runs against him and actually hand him a loss.
Yeah, you mentioned it was in June last year when the Cubs were able to beat Zach Greinke, and they really did, as you said, a good job. And when they got their opportunities, putting the ball in play.
Well, and that's going to be key today. It's going to be one of my keys. You're going to hear it again at the end of the show. Cubbies, be aggressive today. You've got nothing to lose. Understand your circumstances. Understand what's going on. You're 1-5. Yes, you're about ready potentially to be swept by the Brewers. They're playing just a little bit better than you. You're struggling to score some runs. Let it all hang out today. Have some fun. Be aggressive. Zach Greinke's out there today. You know it. There's no secret message here. Go out, have fun, be aggressive.
All right, let's hear what manager Dale Swaim had to say about Brewers starter Zach Greinke.
You know, Greinke's one of the most brutally honest guys you're ever going to be around, and probably said some things he wished he wouldn't have said. But you know, that's just the rivalry that comes out sometimes in those things, and you try not to, you know, say stuff that you know you'll regret. But you know, that's them, and you know, we're the Chicago Cubs. We're not the Brewers, so that's not our concern anymore.
There you go, manager Dale Swaim and his thoughts. Of course, he was the hitting coach last year for the Brew Crew. Now, our Joe Stonecrab, what's at stake today in the ball game Zach Greinke, much better at home than he is on the road. You look at the numbers at home, 11-0 with a .313 and a .236 opponent batting average. On the road, 5-6 with a .470 and a .255. Did have a great 7-inning no-run outing a week ago.
7 strikeouts, and it's the only game the Brew Crew won against the Cardinals, so it was a game that they had to have early on. He got it done. But you're right. Here's the key, though. He's aware of it, and that's where I say, listen, be real cautious here. I pegged him as my Cy Young candidate in the National League this year because I think it's a big year for him, and I think he's on top of his game. He's made it important in spring training. He's aware of what he did on the road. So take that as a grain of salt. This is a guy that you're going to have to get after. He's one of your best in the game right now, and the Cubs need to be ready today.
All right, we're going to take our first time out on our Subaru pregame live show here from the ballpark. Gorgeous day at the Combines. Can the Cubs find a way to salvage one in the series? Don't forget, we got Holly's keys to the games, the lineups, and I'll chat with Ryan Dempster and Alfonso Soriano. It's all straight ahead before first pitch here. Let's see it then.
What's at Stake is brought to you by Joe's Seafood Prime Steak and Stone Crab. For the city's finest selection of prime steaks and fresh seafood, there's no better place than Joe's.
You can receive a text or email when you get a package from the UPS store. Another reason why small business loves logistics.
For all your shipping or printing needs, come to the UPS store on President's Day. We'll be open.
So, your seat good? Get the mirrors all adjusted? You can see everything okay? Just stay off the freeways, all right? I don't want you going out on those yet. Just leave your phone in your purse. I don't want you texting.
Daddy, okay?
Okay. There you go. Be careful.
Thanks, Dad.
Call me, but not while you're driving. We knew this day was coming. That's why we bought a Subaru.
Times are good, aren't they, kids? It's nice having U-verse, isn't it? See, back in my day, we didn't have these newfangled wireless receivers. We had to watch basketball in the living room. That's where the TV outlet was. And if Mom was hosting a book club that day, guess what? You missed it. We couldn't just move the TV all willy-nilly all over the house. Kids today have it so good.
Okay.
The new wireless receiver, only from AT&T. Get U-verse TV for $29 a month for 6 months. AT&T.
Let's have a ball and a biscuit, sugar. And take our sweet little time about it.
Captain Morgan, to life, love, and loot.
Sports Authority is proud to be the official sporting goods retailer of the Chicago Cubs. Sports Authority, all things sporting good.
That was the next year.
We continue our Subaru pregame live show here from the friendly confines of beautiful Wrigley Field. He's Todd Hollinsworth. I'm David Kaplan. Let's look at the Cubs lineup for manager Dale Swaim today. And some changes in the lineup, most notably Marlon Byrd not in the lineup. Reed Johnson going to get the start in center and hitting the 8-hole. David DeJesus again at the top of the lineup. And there's Soriano in the cleanup spot. And then LaHare playing first base, who's been dealing with a bit of a back strain, but off to a very good start.
I like it. Clean-off spot. That's exactly what we want. I want to see more of that. Some guys getting on base and some guys cleaning them off. Opportunity again for these guys. I think this is the best power-packed lineup you're going to see this year. Soriano, he's been good so far. Defensively, he's been sound. He's been aggressive. He's gotten to the wall. He's made great catches. At the same time, offensively, great approach. He's had RBI opportunities. He's stayed up the middle. That's what he's thinking. That's what you want to see, what's going on between the ears, and it's been all good so far. But you know what? little power here and there wouldn't hurt.
No, a couple out onto the street or just into the first basket.
That's right. We'll take it.
A-okay with us. All right, let's hear what manager Dale Swaim had to say about Marlon Byrd, who's 1 for 21 struggles, have landed him on the bench today.
There's no plan. Just, give him a day and a little breather and hopefully get him on track. But he'll be back in there tomorrow. Like I said, before, he's just real rotational. He's got to get a little more linear in his swing to be able to handle, pitches away. So, it's just all rotational right now to where the bat comes in and out of the strike zone too quick.
Is there a way to teach patience to hitters?
It's probably the most difficult thing to do. Just for the fact of the, everybody has different personalities when they hit, and like I said before, the anxiety level of having 2 strikes on them, is a big problem with a lot of people, or even 1 strike for that matter. The anxiety level gets really high on certain people, and they just feel like, sometimes they want to get the at bat over with one way or the other before it gets to those points, and obviously it compounds into the problem of swinging early and making early outs.
All right, time now for Todd's thoughts on Marlon Byrd. You heard what Dale had to say. He's said he'll be back in the lineup tomorrow. What's your take on Marlon?
It's a day off. I think it's good. Yeah, he's struggling a little bit. He's pressing. That's what's going on. He just needs a breather. He needs to get away from the game for 24 hours, not think about it, not digest what's going on in the field. Sit back, relax, take it in, slow the game down in your brain. That's what's going on right now. It gets going so fast. You don't want to strike out. You don't want to punch out. You don't want the big at-bats because you're pressing. You're not making the kind of contact you want. It's going to come back to him as soon as he takes a deep breath.
All right, time now for our ATI injury report, and we give you that as it leads into the Brewers lineup. Both Ryan Braun and Jonathan Lucroy dealing with torso strains, but both in the lineup for manager Ron Renicky. If you look at the lineup, Weeks and Morgan and Braun and Hart and Gamble and Gonzalez, and they've got a pretty darn good team, and you forget the fact that Prince Fielder's not even in the lineup because he's in Detroit now. They still got a really good team.
Yes, they do. It starts with their starting rotation, but this is a good lineup as well. Matt Gamble, the guy clearly who's replacing Prince Fielder. So far, so good. It's small sample size, first week of baseball, but he's having good swings. He's driving the ball, driving in some runs, scoring some runs, good at bats. I don't think they're asking the world of him, but I think the responsibility as far as replacing Prince Fielder falls on the Ricky Weeks, the Corey Harts of the world, and a balanced attack. That's what Ron Renicky wants. That's what you've seen in this series. You've seen squeezes, you've seen sacrifice flies. They're changing their game a little bit.
Nyjer Morgan, 4 for 9 lifetime against Matt Garza, so we'll see how that storyline plays out as well. We have to take a timeout on our Subaru pregame live show. When we come back, I chat with Ryan Dempster in the Cubs clubhouse. Demp pitched well again yesterday, but not well enough to get a victory. We'll get his thoughts and tell you about a great charity event that he and his foundation are putting on.
Want total access to Major League Baseball? Then you need Xfinity and MLB Network. You'll get over 125 live regular season games with live look-ins from around the league, plus 24/7 inside access, so you're there for all of baseball's biggest stories. With Xfinity from Comcast, the best seat in the house is in your house. Sign up for the HD Premier XF Triple Play or ask about other bundles starting as low as $99 a month for a year. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Call today.
This color is gorgeous.
That's 70% off. Maybe we could get carpet for Lucy's room, too.
Good call.
At Luna, get 70% off your entire purchase.
773-202. Luna.
Scenic views and the freshest seafood right on the lake. Visit Riva Crab House on Navy Pier. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter and peruse our menu. Or reserve a table at rivanavypier.com.
This lets us know every time someone takes home a new Nissan.
Every minute, someone buys a new Nissan. It's no wonder when you're named the country's most innovative car company. And they'll be going really fast during Nissan's Sale a Minute event. Get 0% financing on popular models or a $179 lease on Altima. Event ends soon. Visit ChooseNissan.com. Hurry in to your local Nissan dealer.
Not a minute too soon.
Parties, projects, playtime. It's all happening outdoors. And at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we're ready. With all the top brands, friendly service, and values that'll keep you smiling. Right now, this brooder lamp from Woods is $5.99. A quart of Robic septic tank treatment is $4.99. And this Flowtech shallow well jet pump is now $129.99. Fuel your outdoor passion with help from Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
In baseball, it doesn't matter how far away you live, because the game's biggest stars follow you. With MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV, it's your own season ticket to every team, every player, and the most baseball in HD. Order MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV and bring your favorite team home today.
Welcome back to our Subaru Cubs pregame show. David Kaplan and Ryan Dempster. Demp, yesterday another solid outing. You went out and threw the ball very well. How you feeling?
Yeah, I feel good. Obviously I wish I would have made a couple better pitches and come away with the win. And that's the way it goes sometimes. But just go out there and do what you can and get ready for the next start. As
one of the leaders in here, what point do you get guys together and go, guys, it's early, relax, we're going to be fine?
Yeah, well, I think collectively as a group we know that. We got some guys in here who you lead by example. You just go out there and you just keep putting your work in, and the wins will start coming. And that's all you can do is work hard, just keep moving forward. Today's a new day, and just go out there and win today's game.
Hard to believe, although you guys sit at the record you have. There's 150, I think 6 or 7 to go.
Yeah, there's a lot of games during the season, so it's not a sprint. It's definitely a marathon, but it's also important to get off to a good start, and we got to get on the winning track here and start winning some games.
You also, through your Dempster Family Foundation, give a ton back to the community. You and your wife, you have an event coming up May 9th, but you also do other things around the community. What's coming up on the docket?
Yeah, there's always a lot of things. We're going to have a 22Q day at the field, which is a great thing. The event's the big thing. It's a little earlier this year. It's on May 9th, which is great. It's just a tremendous fundraiser, a lot of fun. That's at the Palmer House again. So I'm looking forward to that. And this year a lot of the proceeds, a big portion of the proceeds are going to the new Children's Hospital and helping to establish a 22Q clinic there. So a lot of good things, and got a lot of great people working for the foundation and really trying to create and spread as much awareness as possible.
What has Chris Basio been telling you about your work and how the season has started from a pitching perspective?
Yeah, he just keep working hard, and he likes the way I've been throwing the ball. So I'm just going to continue to try and build off each outing and learn from my mistakes and learn from my positive things that happen as well. So, a lot of season left, a lot of starts left, and just try and go out there and stay as healthy as I can.
All right, Ryan Dempster gave up the home run yesterday, and that has been one of the problems for him in his career. He pitches very well, but he gives up the long ball a bit. What do you see out of him so far?
I'll give the long ball late. It does happen. Deb would tell you that. He knows it. He wants to make better pitches late in the ball game. But you know what I say? Score a few more runs and tell him he's not going to have to pitch a nail biter every time he's out there. But he's been sharp so far. His off-speed stuff is working. His cutter, his slider, his splitty have all been there for him, and they've been there for him early. You think back to last year, what's the one thing he struggled with the most? The big inning. It always seemed to show up in the second, third, fourth inning. A 3 or 4 run spot. He would pitch well the rest of the ball game, but he couldn't get it back. So far, so good. There's been a couple signs where you thought maybe he was going to lose it a little bit, and he gets it back much quicker. That's understanding, that's growing, that's knowing who you are. It's not about your age or your health. It's understanding how to get it back, how to find your arm slot, and how to start throwing strikes again.
All right, we'll see what happens. Matt Garza gets the start today after Dempster's outstanding outing yesterday. Samardzija on the bump tomorrow at St. Louis. We come back. It's what you've waited for all half hour long. It's Holly's keys to a Cubs victory. We'll tell you about it in a moment.
Cubs Pregame Live is presented by Subaru. Discover what it's like to have a car you can love.
So, your seat good? Get the mirrors all adjusted so you can see everything okay? Just stay off the freeways, all right? I don't want you going out on those yet. Just leave your phone in your purse. I don't want you texting.
Daddy, okay?
Okay. There you go. Be careful.
Thanks, Dad.
Call me, but not while you're driving. We knew this day was coming. That's why we bought a Subaru.
Once I started getting those rewards, I told people. I really did.
U.S. Cellular has changed wireless.
U.S. Cellular is the only wireless company with this kind of rewards program. Not AT&T, not Verizon. It's like money in the bank. I mean, you earn points for doing normal things like paying your bill. And when I want something like a new phone, I can just use my points. What a great idea.
The U.S. Cellular Rewards Program. Another reason we have the happiest customers in wireless.
The Four Seasons warehouses are overstocked, which means big savings during our preseason warehouse sale. Air conditioners from just $24.95. Furnace and AC combos from just $36.95 installed. Keep your home energy efficient and enjoy 5 years interest-free financing. Plus, save up to $21.75 in manufacturer and energy rebates.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
Helpful steps for parents can help. Take the first step today at BMO Harris Bank.
You can receive a text or email when you get a package from the UPS store. Another reason why small business loves logistics.
For all your shipping or printing needs, come to the UPS store on President's Day. We'll be open.
All right, Subaru Pregame Live rolls on for the friendly confines. Just a little bit. Len and Bob will have the play-by-play call. The Cubs and the Milwaukee Brewers, Game 4 of this 4-game set. The Brewers, unfortunately, have won the first 3. Alongside National League Rookie of the Year, Todd Hollingsworth, I'm David Kaplan. Okay. You go into this game, you know you've already dropped the first 3. You can't change that result. What is the mindset? And that leads us to your keys to victory.
Well, you're going to dig deep. That's exactly what you want to do, and that's what the character of this clubhouse is going to start to come out more and more as they start to struggle. Let's get into the keys. Here they come. Flashback moving forward. Look back to June of last year. You beat Zach Greinke. You had a good game plan. You were aggressive. You got after it. He's been good. He's been good on the road. I don't want to make too much out of how good he is at home, how he's not the same pitcher on the road. This is Zach Greinke. In spring training, I've seen this guy is dialed in and he's good. You got to be on your game today, but I want to see an aggressive Cubs lineup, and I like this lineup today. I think it matches up well with Zach Greinke. I think there could be some good at-bats in there. You got some lefty bats in there as well who can do some damage. It's going to be key. Number 2, continue the climb. I'm talking about Matt Garza. Last 7 starts dating back to last year, 4-0 with a 2.24 ERA. Now, we've been eyewitnesses to the growth process, and I think he's a pillar for this franchise. We were talking about a few minutes ago, is this a guy who's going to stay or whether he's going to go? You asked me. This is a guy who stays. You're seeing improvement. When he came over here, he was good, and guess what? He's becoming great. Key today, don't fall into pattern. This is a veteran Milwaukee Brewer lineup. These guys know how to hit. They're going to go out there, and if he's going fastball, slider, they're going to pick up on that, and he cannot fall into that trend. He's going to have all 4 pitches working and working early for him. Key for keeping these guys down. No walks, and just be aggressive. Don't worry about the offense scoring some runs. Do your thing, and let's just see what happens at the end of this ball game. And finally, dig deep. Avoid the sweep. Key, Cubs veterans, time for the leadership really to shine. I'm going to throw a quote out there today. Martin Luther King Jr., the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge. I believe the Cubs are right there right now. They're 1-5, and they're looking at a tough season if they don't get this thing figured out.
All right, time for our key performers. Holly off to a 2-0 start, surprisingly. Go ahead and make the first pick, buddy.
Steve Clevenger, he's my man. He's going to get it done today. Opportunity, and guess what? He's creating more opportunity. You want to know why? Because he's been playing well and he's been hitting well. He's my man.
All right, I'm going to go with Brian LaHare. The left-hander going to have a good day today against Zach Greinke. So we'll see what happens. Clevenger, Greinke, Cubs, Brewers, straight ahead. We send you now to the booth to Len Casper.
Cap Holly, thanks very much. You see sunshine in the background. Weather-wise, we can't really complain. Cool temperatures today, a little warmer than yesterday, and the wind not nearly the factor. Slight breeze blowing off the lake. The Cubs off to a 1-5 start. This is the worst 6-game start since 1997 when they lost their first 14 in a row. And the new manager, Dale Swaim, was asked about, hey, 1-5 in the middle of the season doesn't look quite as bad as right off the bat.
I don't. 1-5 is, no matter what part of the year it is obviously not a good stretch by no means. So, it's an everyday grind out here, and you just whatever you can do to win a baseball game and get back on track. We've been pretty much in every ball game. So, we need that 3-run homer. We need stuff like that to get us a big lead or get back in a game, whatever it is. And we're having trouble doing that right now. The bottom line is, we've gotten some people on. Once again, we're struggling with men in scoring position. Our right-handed hitters, are struggling right now. In those situations. So, we got to get better at that. Otherwise it's going to be, tough to score runs. Right on right. We got to get a little bit better in understanding, the process of how they're getting us out and how they're attacking us, and we got to take advantage of that.
And the Cubs facing another right-hander today in Zach Greinke. We look at some of the numbers. You see the Cubs and their opponents on this homestand hitting .221. The Cubs have been out-homered, however, 7-3, and the relief staff, other than yesterday, has really struggled. The Cubs have led in 5 of the 6 games. Well, one of the bright spots has been Alfonso Soriano, particularly with the glove, and David Kaplan had a chance to talk with the Cubs left fielder.
Thanks, Len. I'm here with Cubs left fielder Alfonso Soriano. So I walked in the ballpark the other day. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. You are coming from the weight room at 8 a.m. The game at noon. You'd already gotten your workout in. Now you sit down and you're working on your iPad watching Gio Gonzalez pitch. It seems like things are a little bit different technologically for you guys with the new regime.
Yeah. We got our technology now. So I think I play this game is more easy now. Because like you said, so and the other day I just look Gio Gonzalez, how he pitched to right-handed batter, so make it easier on me. So that's what I try to do every day now with the technology. So see the pitch, how the pitcher pitch against righty, so make it easier on me, and I have an idea when I go to the home plate.
They bring to you the iPad and they put in whoever you're going to be facing that day. It seems like every day you're doing this. It must be something new for you.
No, I've been doing that for like a couple of years, but now with the iPad it's more easy because I don't have to go to the club, and I have my iPad with me. I can watch them in the stadium. I can watch it at home, so it's more easy now.
Do you feel when you go to the plate then you have more of a plan because you've seen certain pitch sequences, for example, to right-hand hitters?
Yeah. So exactly. So when I see the video in my iPad, I have an idea what I want to do in the home plate because I see it for like many times in my iPad. So when I go to the home plate, I have an idea what I want to do.
Also, it looks like your defense you're more comfortable in left field. Is some of that your work and some Dave McKay?
Yeah, working a lot with Dave McKay and spin trainer. So, and he working hard and he know what he's teach me, and I know what he want for me. So I feel comfortable and very exciting. They have a coach like McKay. They like to work and like to teach the player.
Speaking about that glove work, time now for the Home Depot doing it more on defense. He's made several really nice catches in this series, in the homestand in particular. How about yesterday against Carlos Gomez, a line drive that would normally have been a very tricky play for Alfonso, and a lot of guys in the outfield. Leaves his feet, makes a catch. Our Home Depot doing more on defense. We'll have more coming up. We're just moments away from the Cubs hosting the Milwaukee Brewers from Wrigley.
What's at Stake is brought to you by Joe's Seafood Prime Steak and Stone Crab. For the city's finest selection of prime steaks and fresh seafood, there's no better place than Joe's. The knowledgeable staff at Gold Coast Tickets helps the Chicagoland sports fan find the seat you want at the price you want. And you'll never pay the service fees you pay with the other guys. Visit goldcoasttickets.com now. You got a guy.
With the first pick in this month's Bob Rohrman Top Deal Sales Event. I select Schaumburg Honda. Congratulations, Schaumburg Honda.
Right now, take advantage of Bob's Top Deal and drive a brand new 2012 Honda Accord LX sedan for only $139 a month.
Bob Rohrman. You're going to love Schaumburg Honda automobiles. Just 8 blocks west of Woodfield Mall on Gulf Road, Schaumburg.
Want total access to Major League Baseball? Then you need Xfinity and MLB Network. You'll get over 125 live regular season games with live look-ins from around the league, plus 24/7 inside access, so you're there for all of baseball's biggest stories. With Xfinity from Comcast, the best seat in the house is in your house. Sign up for the HD Premier XF Triple Play or ask about other bundles starting as low as $99 a month for a year. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Call today.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Get everything you need for less during the Menards Project Day sale. Update your landscaping with decorative block. Crestone 2 retaining wall blocks in 7 colors are 89 cents each. Interlock edgers in 5 colors are buy one for 99 cents, get one free. Add the finishing touch with colored mulch. It helps prevent weeds and maintains moisture around your plants. In a beautiful red color. Get 4 2 cubic foot bags for just $9.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, game day program. Hey, program scorecard yearbook.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, 75 years being right here in Illinois means no one's closer to your wellness. Experience wellness everywhere. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy? Toyota. Right now, you can get a lot for less at your local Toyota dealer. Official partner of the Chicago Cubs. The new wireless receiver from AT&T Ubers. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. BMO Harris Bank. Helping money make sense. BMO Harris Bank. NA member FDIC. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Mother Nature did her part. The Cubs try to get out of here, avoiding the sweep in a 2-5 homestand. And let's take a look ahead. The Three Stooges upcoming game schedule for the Cubs. April, very difficult on paper. Tomorrow, the Cubs will help the Cardinals open up Busch Stadium for the first time in 2012. The Miami Marlins also part of this next road trip. And the Cubs have a few dates with the Cincinnati Reds starting on the next homestand a week from Friday. Right-handers on the mound today. It'll be Matt Garza for the Cubs. Zach Greinke will go for the Milwaukee Brewers. Bob Brenly will join me. We'll get you set for all the action coming up next.
The Chicago Cubs strongly encourage the use of public transportation. The CTA offers a variety of options, including the Red Line, which stops right at Wrigley Field at the Addison Station. If you must drive, try the remote parking operation at DeVry University. Located near the Addison and Rockwell intersection, the remote lot offers parking and an express bus for just $6. For another option, try riding your bike. The Cubs provide a free bike check at the car wash at Clark and Waveland. For more details, call the CTA hotline at 773-836-7000 or visit Cubs.com.
It's time to make your mark. It's time to make a phone call with your voice instead of your fingers. It's time to pass gas stations instead of stopping at them. It's time to get directions at the touch of a button. It's time to trade up to the best Sierra ever. During GMC Truck Month, get $4,000 total value on Sierra with Extended Cab SLE Value Package. Or trade up and use your package discount to get a total value of $6,000. GMC. Why just go when you can go pro?
You're all set, big guy. See you in 2 weeks.
All right, great. Thanks again. Take care. We'll see you next time. Hey, Shelly.
Hi, Mr. Randall. There you go. That's your balance for today. And let's get you guys set up. He's ready for the twins, Mrs. Martinez.
Prepare for the unexpected with an emergency fund. One of our helpful steps. Take the first step today at BMO Harris Bank.
Tell us about the Accord.
Car and drivers 10 best.
How many times?
A record 26 times.
Interesting.
What about safety?
Overall 5-star safety rating.
Interesting.
It's perfect.
不要太过分。
我知道，可是我太喜欢。
不要让他知道。
可是好漂亮。
让我解决，看我办事。So Brian, what kind of deal are we looking at here?
We have some really good offers going on right now.
Really?
Really.
Okay, we'll take it.
好极了，现在我开始准备文件。
Well-qualified buyers can get an Accord for 0.9% financing and no first month's payment during the really big sales event. Real deals, big inventory at your Honda dealer.
Enemy ship on starboard bow! Alert, Captain Morgan!
Captain Morgan, to life, love, and loot.
We proudly present Chicago Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
With victory in vision, the Cubs let another lead slip from their sights. Looking to avoid the sweep, Matt Garza eyes the opportunity to be the stopper. Cubs and Brewers next on Comcast Sportsnet. Well, as always, the red line will drop off Cub fans at Addison and Sheffield as they head on into Wrigley Field for a matinee of Chicago Cubs baseball here on Comcast Sportsnet. Another nice day here at the ballpark as the Cubs wrap up their first homestand of 2012. Hi again, everyone. Along with Bob Brendley, I'm Len Casper. The Cubs today trying to avoid being swept by Milwaukee in a 4-game series for the first time ever, and you always want to win on getaway day.
If for no other reason to make it easier for the broadcasters to get on that team plane after the ball game, Cubs would love to win today on getaway day. They've had a lead in 5 of their 6 games, just haven't been able to close them out.
Good pitching matchup. Couple of hard-throwing right-handers. Matt Garza will go for the Cubs. Zach Greinke for the Brewers.
A lot of similarities on the mound. Both guys love their fastball a lot. Personality-wise, couldn't be more different. Zach Greinke very quiet, keeps to himself. Matt Garza like a ping-pong ball in a hurricane.
So they're getting ready for today's Game 4. After this one, the Cubs will hit the road for the first time as they head to St. Louis tomorrow. Let's go down to the field and our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please rise. Kindly remove your caps and join Jeff Ray as he honors America with the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet You still think you colder than me. No, don't tell me. Tell Tiny. And who you supposed to be? Back up, handle it.
What you looking at him?
Cat-like reflexes. Oh.
The Coors Light Silver Bullet Pint. It's bigger, it's resealable, it's still the coldest.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Life in the show is all about endurance. You get knocked down, you get right back up. You've got to take some hits and come back stronger. That's life in the show.
Watch the show that never quits. Sportsnet Central, every night at 6:30, 10, 10:30 and midnight. Only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Tonight, it's a first-round showdown with the Coyotes as the Blackhawks kick off their quest for Lord Stanley's Cup. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Chevy Blackhawks pregame live. Blackhawks, Coyotes, Game 1, tonight at 8:30 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Visit CSNChicago.com for great deals on your favorite team's merchandise. From jerseys and hats to autographed memorabilia and more. Outfit yourself in your favorite team's gear and visit the fan shop at CSNChicago.com now.
Welcome to the opening week of baseball, presented by Burger King. Let's take a look at the Cubs minor league report. Casey Coleman got the win for the AAA Cubs as they beat Albuquerque. Wellington Castillo had 3 hits. In fact, his battery mate Casey Coleman also had 2 hits. You had Tennessee losing its 2nd in a row, still a game over 500. Daytona off to a slow start as the Cubs are just 1-5. Peoria at low A in the Midwest League, 3-3, and Boise and Mesa won't start their respective seasons until mid-June. Oh, Ryan Dempster with 2 quality starts, but hasn't gotten much run support. Gave up a 2-run homer in the 7th inning yesterday, and that would be all the Brewers would need. But when you name a guy your opening day starter, you want him to be as good as he's been, and you also would hope you'd have at least 1 win out of those 2.
With a really encouraging number on that graphic for me, Len, is 15 strikeouts in 14 1/3 innings pitched. Last season, especially in the second half, it seemed like Ryan Dempster had a lot of trouble missing bats or getting weak contact, especially when he was ahead in the count. This year, his stuff seems to be much more crisp than it was at the end of the season last year, and consequently, he's missing some bats.
The Cubs cannot complain about their starting pitching. The bullpen struggled early, but a good outing for Kerry Wood in particular yesterday, as he struck out the side in the 8th inning.
We had some really good stuff. Just after the game, he said he found a better release point. He felt like he was putting the ball where he wanted it for the most part. Had that cutter working on the outside corner, the 4-seam fastball in the mid-90s. This looked a lot more like what we expect from Kerry Wood in the game yesterday against the Brewers.
Well, the Brewers trying to complete a 4-game sweep. You know, I'm listening to Dale Swaim yesterday. So once the game starts, you kind of forget about the fact that you're friends with most of the guys on the other side of the diamond. But he's not the only one. Pat Listash, American League Rookie of the Year, 1992 as a Brewer. Chris Bosio, a longtime Brewer. Aramis Ramirez coming back. Rick Kranitz, a pitching coach for Milwaukee, was a longtime member of the Cubs organization. In fact, I think most guys feel a little extra motivation to beat their buddies.
Well, we saw that in game 1 of the series when Aramis Ramirez stole a base, for crying out loud. How often did we see that happen in his time here in Chicago? Not very often.
We'll set the umpires for you before the Cubs take the field. Fielden Culbreth, South Carolina native, will work the plate. Adrian Johnson, Gary Cedarstrom and Lance Barksdale on the bases. So all 4 umpires have had a chance to call balls and strikes now in this series. Maybe wondering about the delay. Matt Garza, when he starts, usually takes a little extra time, but today even Bobby threw some extra warm-up tosses after the national anthem was completed.
And well after Zach Greinke had finished his warm-up pitches on the other side of the field.
And there's Reed Johnson, whose wife Taryn gave birth to their 2nd child yesterday morning. Reed was up about 2 a.m. yesterday. Did get to the ballpark in time for the game. Pinch hit late, unfortunately struck out to end the game, but everybody's doing well, and hopefully they'll be back home here in the next day or 2. Now Ron Renicke's Milwaukee Brewers starting lineup. Brought to you by Southwest. Ricky Weeks will start it. Niger Morgan in center. Ryan Braun had the day off yesterday, back in there along with Corey Hart. Matt Gamble is at first. Alex Gonzalez, the shortstop. Jonathan Lucroy will catch. Cesar Izturis, another former Cub, will make his first start as a Brewer, and Zach Greinke, the pitcher.
Here's how the Cubs are going to line it up this afternoon. Soriano, Reed Johnson, and David DeJesus left to right across the outfield. Ian Stewart and Starlin Castro on the left side of the infield. Darwin Barney and Brian LaHare on the right side. Steve Clevenger getting the nod behind the plate today. He'll be receiving pitches from right-hander Matt Garza. Garza 2-1 with a .435 against the Brewers in his career. He's our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher. You see his numbers after his initial start of the season. He was pretty darn good himself. Made one mistake to Adam LaRoche, a fastball up and in. LaRoche hit into the right field bleachers, but other than that was really good.
I'd give the weather an A, even though we've had some cold nights. Bob, knock on wood, not one drop of precipitation on this opening homestand, and that is a win all the way around.
It's too cold to rain. Bright sunshine here today. Temperatures a little warmer. Wind blowing from right to left. We've had just about every possible wind situation you can imagine here at Wrigley on this opening homestand, and today it should benefit the right-handed pull hitters a little bit.
There's a 2-1 in 3 starts against the Brewers, all coming last year. And Ricky Weeks will lead it off. Has 1 hit in his last 15 at bats. That was that line shot home run the other night. And we are ready to go. And a fastball in there for a strike. Pitch inside, 1-1. Well, the Cubs head to St. Louis tomorrow. The Brewers will fly to Atlanta. Wind coming in off the lake, 7 miles an hour. A little 3/4 swing by Weeks as he grounds out to Starlin Castro. 1 away.
Nice sequence there to start the game, even though it was only 3 pitches. First pitch fastball right down the middle at 94, then a fastball off the plate inside. Came back with the slider low and away and got the very defensive half swing from Ricky Weeks for the first out of the game.
Here's Morgan, also off to a slow start.
I'll tell you, Len, you would have to expect that the Brewers, especially a guy like Niger Morgan, maybe some other guys, Cesar is tourist down at the bottom of the order, maybe even Ricky Weeks, try to bunt for a base hit against Matt Garza today. Had a lot of issues fielding bunts and balls hit back to the mound last year. Made 7 errors after only making 6 in his entire career up until last year.
No miscues in his first start, even though he did slip a couple of times. Getting off the mound, line in the left, and it'll drop in front of Soriano for the first hit. And here comes Ryan Braun, who sat out yesterday. And some minor chest and ribcage tightness, probably due to the cold weather, nothing serious. Yesterday was the first time the Brewers didn't have a lineup with either Braun or Prince Fielder in it since April 18th of 2007. He's 3 for 8 in the series with an RBI and a run. Here's a pitch, and it's inside on a fastball. Well, we've talked about this before. Usually the highest paid guys, the guys who produce the most, when they can be durable, that is even an added benefit. And Prince Fielder and Ryan Braun have been very durable. 08, 09, 2010. Last year, Ryan Braun at least 150 games. That's how you pile up RBI totals in the triple digits. And last year, 33 home runs, which right in the ballpark for him.
And not only durable physically to the point where they've stayed healthy enough to play every day, but also mentally they want to play every day. It's not unusual for superstar caliber players to pick their spots, a day game after a night game. They'll take the day off. Maybe a first game after a long travel day, they'll take the day off. But boy, especially Prince Fielder, you were guaranteed when you looked in the box score the next day, Prince Fielder was going to be in that lineup. You just knew it. It didn't matter what the circumstances were. And Ryan Braun not far behind.
2-1 on Braun. Now 3 balls and a strike. Well, you said it in the open. Couldn't find 2 more opposite personalities in terms of opposing starting pitchers today. You've got the high strung, at times frenetic Matt Garza against the very quiet, subdued Zach Greinke. 3-2.
Just a challenge fastball at the top of the zone, 95 miles per hour in a fastball count against a good fastball hitter, and that time Garza got the better of it. Yeah, we know all about Matt Garza and the energy that he shows on a daily basis, whether he's pitching or not. And Zach Greinke, very low key.
Ball 4.
Very low key to the point where when he's shagging balls in the outfield during batting practice, some days he'll stand all by himself. Other days he'll have his earphones in listening to music rather than talking to his teammates. I'm not saying he's a bad teammate. He just likes to keep to himself.
Corey Hart in the cleanup spot. Aramis Ramirez getting the day off. Hart off to a very hot start after knee surgery in early March. They had 3 everyday players out of their lineup yesterday. Braun, Hart, and Lucroy. And yet they still won the game. 2-1.
I think that's important, Len, to any team's success over the course of the season, to have your bench players produce so that as a manager you can mix and match, you can plug guys in, you can give guys a day off, and you feel like you're still going to win a ball game.
Bobby Cox used to do that on Sundays, but he also did it when he had Greg Maddux or somebody like that, Tom Glavine, on the mound. Yesterday, Ron Renicky did it with his ace, Giovanni Gallardo. That helps. Wouldn't expect to have to score a ton of runs with your ace on the mound. Hart out into right center. Who's going to get it? Reed Johnson will make the catch. Both runners will hold. Good communication out there between Johnson and DeJesus.
Steve Clevenger was nearly standing straight up behind home plate before that delivery to Corey Hart, and he still tomahawked it into right center field. Garza likes to use that four-seam fastball across the top of the zone and even higher. He should get a lot of swings and misses, a lot of lazy fly balls if he's able to locate that fastball up at the top of the zone.
Matt Gamble led off the 7th with a double off Ryan Dempster yesterday, and 2 batters later would score on the game-changing, game-winning home run by George Kataris. For many years it was Fielder and Lee could just write their names into these respective lineups when the Brewers and Cubs would match up. Well, now it's Gamble and LaHare. Two. Down by Clevenger, keeping the runners right where they are.
Steve Clevenger getting the nod behind the plate today, and another added byproduct of Clevenger getting the start, Soto getting a day off. Giovanni was down in the bullpen early today working with Mike Borzello, the catching instructor, trying to tighten up his footwork on his throws to second base a little bit. Just because you're not in the starting lineup doesn't mean you don't do anything that particular day. Usually when regular players have a day off, that's when they can get some extra work done, whether it's in the video room or out in the batting cage underneath the right field bleachers or in the weight room.
Tap back to Garza. And he'll underhand flip over to LaHare for the final out. Brewers strand 2. Cubs coming up from Wrigley.
We have more than 3,000 daily flights on Southwest Airlines, and that gives you thousands of options to fly. Where you want, when you want. Starting June 3rd, you can fly our new nonstop service from Midway to Oklahoma City for just $160 one way. Book all of our destinations only at Southwest.com.
We'll take 2 chicken pot pie.
The KFC Chunky Chicken Pot Pie. Freshly baked with our signature recipe and loaded with chunks of chicken and vegetables. Try it now, just $3.99.
Classic, man.
Yeah, classic.
Tomorrow, one comedy is a no-brainer.
Those 3 idiots are here.
The Kardashian girls?
No,
where are they?
The Stooges.
The Three Stooges.
Rated PG.
Tomorrow.
You plant, you mow,
you grow, you dream. Meet the new definition of durability, the John Deere Select Series. With endless possibilities, what will you create? The new Select Series X310 with power steering is here. Drive one today at your John Deere dealer.
Now the Cubs Southwest starting lineup against right-hander Zach Greinke. DeJesus, Barney, and Castro at the top. Soriano, Stewart, and LaHare in the middle. Steve Clevenger has done a nice job off the Cubs bench, 2 for 2 as a pinch hitter. Reed Johnson in center and Matt Garza on the mound.
Here's how the Brewers are going to line them up today. Ryan Braun, Niger Morgan, Corey Hart left to right across the outfield. Cesar Izturis filling in for Aramis Ramirez at third base today. Alex Gonzalez and Ricky Weeks will make up the double play combo up the middle. Matt Gamble over at first base. Jonathan Lucroy behind the plate today for the 2009 American League Cy Young winner Zach Greinke. See his numbers in his first start of the season. Only 4 hits surrendered, 7 strikeouts. Throws a lot of cutters. He's really incorporated that pitch into his arsenal. He also has a good 4-seam fastball. He'll occasionally sink his fastball, curve, slider, change, but you'll see a lot of cutters from Greinke today.
From Orlando, Florida. And starting his second year as a Brewer. DeJesus pops into left. Ryan Braun coming over right to the line and puts it away.
Big reaction as that ball was popped in the air to shallow left field. A lot of youngsters here at the ballpark today. Saw busloads of school-age kids here at Wrigley Field, and they're excited to be here, excited to see that ball put into play, even a pop up to shallow left.
Darwin Barney has started every game at second base. He takes a strike.
So an odd sight today, although not really odd for me, but I would assume it's odd for the fans to see Steve Clevenger at second base taking ground balls and turning double plays right along beside Darwin Barney. Clevenger was a second baseman before being converted to a catcher and likes to turn double plays out there at second to work on his exchange from glove into throwing hand. Very valuable to take that back behind home plate.
This one will just get out of play behind the Brewer bullpen.
With the winds we had the first 3 games of this series, line, that ball would have been blown almost into the upper deck, but it's turned around the other way. It's where it helps to have Wrigley Field as your home field. Whoa. Yeah, you know, depending on the wind conditions, the ball's going to react extremely different from day to day. Overthrown 4-seam fastball up and into Barney. Does the Turtle. Notice how he turns away from that pitch. If it continues to run further inside, he's going to take it on the backside of his body or backside of his helmet where he has the most protection, as opposed to turning into it where you're really vulnerable.
Well, when you're facing Zach Greinke, you want to do it anywhere but Miller Park. Greinke won his first start of the year, didn't give up a run against St. Louis. That was at home. Last year he went 11-0 in the regular season. Won a couple more games in the postseason at Miller Park. He was certainly beatable on the road, however. Gonzalez will throw out Barney, 2 down.
You know, sometimes, Len, against the premier pitchers in the game, you can load the lineup with left-handed hitters or right-handed hitters, depending on who the pitcher is. But for Zach Greinke, it doesn't seem to make a whole heck of a lot of difference. Last year, right-handers hit 245, left-handers hit 245. The lefties did hit a few more home runs, but I mentioned that 5-pitch arsenal. He's got something for everybody.
He did not pitch particularly well in the playoffs last year in 3 starts. 2 were at home. He got 1 no decision, 1 win, and then lost at St. Louis in Game 5 of the NLCS. So 6.48 postseason ERA. Due to become a free agent after the season. A lot of talk about whether or not he'll ink an extension with his current team. Brewers and his representative were talking about it, but decided earlier this week to take a little bit of a break. That's tapped by Castro, and it'll be foul.
It usually doesn't mean anything good. You know, it's like when you're dating a girl and you tell her you want to take a little bit of a break from dating. Well, it normally doesn't end well. Although Greinke, because of his personality, the low-key kind of a guy he is, a lot of people think that Milwaukee is the perfect fit for him.
Absolutely. Kansas City and Milwaukee. A couple of good spots for a guy who is certainly comfortable, as you said, kind of being on his own. Won the Cy Young in the American League with KC back in 2009. Led the majors with a 2.16 ERA. Castro out into right center. Corey Hart will make the catch on the move. He looked like he was trying to get some help at first from Niger Morgan, coming off that knee surgery, but seems to be moving pretty well in the outfield. Cubs go down in order in the first.
Got a fresh new start. It's a brand new day, and I got lots of love to give away. It don't matter if it's raining, nothing can faze me. I make my own.
Remember everything your yard needs every single spring. Just one of the many ways My Lowe's revolutionizes managing your entire home. Sign up at Lowe's.com. Lowe's, never stop improving.
This lets us know every time someone takes home a new Nissan.
Every minute, someone buys a new Nissan. It's no wonder when you're named the country's most innovative car company. And they'll be going really fast during Nissan's Sale a Minute event with a $179 lease on Altima or a $209 lease on Rogue. Event ends soon. Visit ChooseNissan.com. Hurry in to your local Nissan dealer.
Not a minute too soon.
Want total access to Major League Baseball? Then you need Xfinity and MLB Network. You'll get over 125 live regular season games with live look-ins from around the league, plus 24/7 inside access, so you're there for all of baseball's biggest stories. With Xfinity from Comcast, the best seat in the house is in your house. Sign up for the HD Premier XF Triple Play or ask about other bundles starting as low as $99 a month for a year. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Call today.
Become a member of the Cubs Club and enjoy exclusive perks, experiences, and merchandise throughout the 2012 Cubs season. There's never been a better time to join, rejoin, or give a fellow Cubs fan the gift of a Cubs Club membership. To join today, visit Cubs.com.
That one fan makes me want to sing "Almost Cut My Hair." Almost cut my hair.
Albert Einstein look about him.
Blackhawks fan. We wish them the best starting tonight. Their best of 7 first-round series against the Phoenix Coyotes. Alex Gonzalez will lead it off against Garza here in the second. Called strike. Nationals opening up their ballpark for the first time this season, leading the Reds 2-0 in the top of the 6th. Gio Gonzalez has been a lot better today than he was against the Cubs over the weekend. 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs to this point. Adam LaRoche off to a very hot start. 2 hits, 2 RBIs. But the Nationals not getting good news on the injury front. Michael Morse is going to be shut down for 6 weeks. He aggravated the back muscle that put him on the disabled list to start the season. Also, Drew Storen, their closer, who is on the DL, had a bone chip removed from his elbow yesterday. Foul tip, strike 3. Garza picks up his first punch out.
Good breaking ball from Matt Garza. He will rely mostly on a slider, which is right there, dipping below the bat of Alex Gonzalez. Occasionally you'll see him throw that over the top 12-6 curveball, but really has found a good feel on that slider toward the end of the Cactus League and has carried it right into the regular season.
Cubs will not have to deal with Lance Berkman over the weekend as Jonathan Lucroy takes strike 1. Berkman has a slightly torn left calf. So it looks like he'll be out until the early part of next week. So no Albert Pujols at first, no Lance Berkman. Looks like Matt Carpenter will fill in.
How many Carpenters do they have in that organization, for crying out loud?
At least 2 that I know of.
There was a curveball that time from Matt Garza. He'll show it from time to time. He'll use that pitch more against left-handed hitters than he will the slider. But as I said, that slider has quickly become his go-to breaking pitch.
Three and 1 with switch hitting Cesar Turris on deck.
We were talking earlier, Lynn. Interesting matchup in Colorado this afternoon. 49-year-old Jamie Moyer hooking up with the Giants and 23-year-old Madison Bumgarner. Jamie Moyer had 3 years in the big leagues before Madison Bumgarner was born. How about that?
I think Jamie faced Bruce Bochy, the Giants manager. Now, you would have faced Jamie, right?
I'm sure I did somewhere along the way. And being a finesse left-hander with a good changeup, I probably didn't sniff a base hit.
Clevenger will head on out.
We can find out. I've got a stat sheet here somewhere that was given to me.
All your matchups?
Yeah. Let's see.
Jamie Quirk, the bench coach, on the right, checking out the matchups.
He's probably looking.
Manager Dale Swain.
He's looking to see how I did against Jamie Moyer. Just as I expected. 2 for 11, 4 strikeouts. Blistering 182 batting average.
But isn't it nice to know that a guy you faced is still pitching?
Yeah, that's great. Well, and you know, Jamie Moyer's always been one of the good guys in the game. It's hard not to root for him, age notwithstanding.
One out walk to Lucroy. Now is Turris with the pitcher Greinke on deck. Bounced foul past Garth Orge down at first base. home team dominated the season series last year. Maybe it's going to be just the opposite this year. 8 of the 17 games will be played here. 3 3-game series in Milwaukee. Now 2-2. As Torres had an injury-plagued campaign with Baltimore last year, just 18 games as he was on the DL twice due to injury. Up the middle, but right to Starlin Castro. He'll step on second. Double play, inning over. We'll go to the bottom of the second, scoreless.
Get everything you need for less during the Menards Project Day sale. Update your landscaping with decorative block. Crestone 2 retaining wall blocks in 7 colors are 89 cents each. Interlock edgers in 5 colors are buy one for 99 cents, get one free. Add the finishing touch with colored mulch. It helps prevent weeds and maintains moisture around your plants. In a beautiful red color, get 4 2-cubic-foot bags for just $9.
Save big money at Menards.
Exciting things are happening at Burger King, like the new chicken wraps for $1 this weekend. Crispy chicken, 7 kinds of lettuce, ranch or honey mustard dressing wrapped in a flour tortilla. Try the new chicken wraps for just $1 each. Only this weekend at Burger King.
This color is gorgeous.
And it's 70% off. Maybe we could get carpet for Lucy's room, too.
Good call.
At Luna, get 70% off your entire purchase.
773-202 Luna.
The answer to what did you do this weekend just got a whole lot more interesting. The Can-Am Spyder Roadster. Its 3-wheeled stances like nothing else on the road. Now you can take your motorcycle test on a Can-Am Spyder Roadster and be riding by the next day. See what thousands of riders already know at canam.brp.com. It's riding reinvented.
No score as we head to the bottom half of the second inning. Dale Swaim, much like Ron Renicky on the other side of the field, a huge proponent of the shift defensively. Not quite as drastic this time, but you see Darwin Barney playing over toward the hole on the right side. Starlin Castro shades up the middle of the field, and he is right in a perfect position to make the 6-3 unassisted double play at second base. It's interesting because I was talking to Dale Swaim yesterday about the exaggerated shifts that we've seen this year, and do the Cubs practice double plays out of those exaggerated shifts? Because you've got guys playing well out of position. It's an odd angle to try to turn 2 up the middle of the field when the shortstop's playing on the second base side or the second baseman is playing on the shortstop side, but Dale says they do indeed work on that. I mean, it only makes sense if you're going to use that exaggerated shift as often as we've seen the Cubs use it. You better practice every possible play that you might see.
Thanks to Alfonso Soriano for joining us on our pregame coverage. One of 3 position players to have started every game. Darwin Barney, Starlin Castro, and Soriano. Marlon Byrd started the first 6 games, getting the day off today after a very slow start at the plate. 0-2 the count. Greinke finished 7th in the NL with 201 strikeouts last year. But he missed the first month. You may remember he had a fractured left rib. High fly ball out toward Morgan, who's battling that sun already here early on. Lost a ball in the twilight early in this series, but handles the sun no problem that time. 1 away. And a backup or a pickup game of basketball is how he suffered the rib injury before he threw a pitch in a regular season game with the Brewers last year. 1 strike on Ian Stewart. His 6th start in the Cubs' first 7 games.
5 previous at-bats for Ian Stewart against the Brewers right-hander. He's got 3 hits and he's a home run away from the cycle. He's got a single, a double, and a triple in 5 at-bats.
It's been a while since Ian has hit a home run in the regular season. Did not hit one with Colorado last year in 48 games. And it won't happen in this at bat as he strikes out. Greinke picks up his first strikeout.
Chases a bad breaking ball hit right out in front of home plate near the inside corner. Talking about Ian Stewart and his power, we know it's there. We saw him hit a tape measure home run at Hohokam Park toward the end of spring training. Over the bullpens in right field up near the party deck. So it's in there, but he's got to swing at better pitches than that.
Nothing in 1 on Brian LaHare. Swing and a miss. LaHare made his Cub debut on September 4th of last year after an MVP season with AAA Iowa. As a Cub, he has hit .310 in 25 games with lots of power. Getting an opportunity to play every day at this level for the first time in his career at 29 years old.
Tough take, but a good take. And Brian LaHare started to show some more of the patience that we grew to love at the end of the season last year. Working counts, fouling borderline pitches off. And boy, did he touch one off here on Monday. Oh, wind was blowing straight out to right field, and he got every bit of it.
Have to hit one at least that hard to get it out to right today. Now it's a full count, 3-2.
Well, I saw something on that home run to right field by LaHare that I hadn't seen before here at Wrigley Field. It's not unusual to see the bleacher fans get on their feet and try to catch a home run ball, but you don't usually see people on the rooftops across the street get out of their seat to catch a home run ball.
Greinke has sent down the first 6. 0-0 after 2.
An accident doesn't have to slow you down. With better car replacement, available only with Liberty Mutual Auto Insurance. If your car's totaled, we give you the money for a car 1 model year newer. Visit a local Chicago office for details. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy?
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
They're beautiful, loyal, and extremely lovable. But at the end of the day, dogs will be dogs, and you end up with a mess all over your vehicle's carpet. Because even if you have those ordinary mats, all kinds of permanent stains find their way off those mats and onto your floors anyway. Unless you have WeatherTech floor liners. WeatherTech liners are laser measured to custom fit and perfectly protect your specific make and model. Front, back, even up the sides. So all of life's little permanent reminders go into the liner and stay in the liner until you wash them away. You can find your WeatherTech floor liners at WeatherTech.com. Just enter your vehicle make and model. Select the liner and color and say goodbye to all those little resale robbing reminders. Questions? Give us a call at 1-800-CAR-MATS. Don't wait until it's too late. Order your WeatherTech protection today at WeatherTech.com. WeatherTech floor liners. Complete protection, completely American made at WeatherTech.com.
Tonight, it's the first night of the Stanley Cup playoffs on CSN. Tune in at 7 for Moments to Excellence, the story of Bobby Hall and Stan Mikita. Then at 8, Inside Look, John McDonough. The main event begins at 8:30. Hawks and Coyotes, Game 1, tonight only on Comcast Sportsnet. Zach Greinke will lead off for Milwaukee, his first at bat. Greinke 0 for 2 on the year. His 2 career home runs, including 1 last season. Just a 147 hitter, however. 11 for 75. That was a home run hack. Never had more than 8 plate appearances in a season in interleague play with Kansas City before getting 59 last year. You and I have talked, and I'm trying to figure out the math on the new balanced 15-team league schedule next year with interleague play pretty much every day as Greinke strikes out.
Well, I'll let you handle that, partner. I'll handle this. Cubs Destination provides fans with the most unique behind-the-scenes VIP game experiences available. Each package includes great tickets, first-class hotel accommodations, a special Cubs gift bag, a tour of the ballpark, and a private meet and greet with a current Cubs player. For more information, as always, visit Cubs.com. Now, I'm not good on scheduling at all. It makes my head hurt.
Well, I've got it all worked out.
Okay.
My plan would be this. So you've got 6 5-team divisions in all of baseball when Houston moves to the American League West. So you'll play 4 other teams in your division. You went 18 as Weeks bounces foul. 18 times 4 against the other teams in your division. That's 72 games, right?
Wait a minute. 18 times 4.
Yeah.
I'd take my shoes off.
10 other teams in your league outside of your division. You play 3 at home, 3 on the road. That's 6 each. That's 60, right?
Yep.
So in your league, you would play 132 games. That leaves 30 games to play against the other leagues. So my thought would be do home and home with 1 division per year. Now that would be the balanced way to do it. Called strike 3. But the question is, you want 30 interleague games, and it may take that many to work out the schedule. That's a lot.
And that doesn't take into consideration some of those natural rivalries that interleague play was kind of instituted to take advantage of in the first place. So I agree with you, but probably makes way too much sense.
But I do think they have an opportunity now to rectify the differences in the schedules. You know, there are some years when the Cubs will play the Red Sox and Yankees and Rays or something, and maybe another team in the division plays Baltimore, and then your natural rival. I think the teams in your division should generally all play the same schedule. And they have that chance to do it now with 15 and 15. Would be a little weird though if the Cubs played opening day next year in Baltimore or Oakland, wouldn't it? Swing and a miss. Garza strikes out the side here in the 3rd. Still waiting for that first run.
While others are content to imitate, we'll continue to innovate. The Lexus RX, Why settle for a copy when you can own the original? See your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer.
Good morning, sunshine. Greet the day and the light. It's time to go outside. If you could keep steady, get up and get ready. It's time to go outside.
Spring is in the air. Lowe's, never stop improving.
Times are good, aren't they, kids? It's nice having U-verse, isn't it? See, back in my day, we didn't have these newfangled wireless receivers. We had to watch basketball in the living room. That's where the TV outlet was. And if Mom was hosting her book club that day, guess what? You missed it. We couldn't just move the TV all willy-nilly all over the house. Kids today have it so good.
Okay. The new wireless receiver only from AT&T. Get U-verse TV for $29 a month for 6 months. AT&T.
Tonight, it's a first-round showdown with the Coyotes as the Blackhawks kick off their quest for Lord Stanley's Cup. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Chevy Blackhawks pregame live. Blackhawks, Coyotes, Game 1, tonight at 8:30 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
CTA Red Line stops directly at Wrigley Field at the Addison Station. The Drivers DeVry University offers remote parking and bus service for just $6, and you can ride your bike and use the Cubs courtesy bike check, sponsored by World Bicycle Relief, located at Clark and Waveland. For more details, visit Cubs.com or call the CTA hotline. Both starting pitchers, the good stuff today, as Zach Greinke will face the bottom three in the Cubs lineup, starting with the catcher Steve Clevenger. Picked up a pinch hit double with 2 outs in the ninth yesterday. He's 3 for 3 in his short career off the bench.
We talked about it in last night's telecast. His skipper Dale Swaim, obviously a former hitting coach, he likes Steve Clevenger off the bench because of his ability to hit fastballs. That is double off of John Axford in the ball game last night as a pinch hitter. Zach Greinke, a guy, as we mentioned at the top of the show, he likes his fastball an awful lot too. So Clevenger getting the start here this afternoon.
Bob, according to MLB.com, they added up the battery for the Giants. Buster Posey and Madison Bumgarner, 47 years old, 2 years younger than Jamie Moyer.
How about that?
Two and two with Reed Johnson on deck. Ryan Braun coming over, and it'll drop, and it gets by him. And Clevenger coming around second. He is going to hold there.
Well, it wasn't struck as well as his double in the ball game last night, but it'll work. Little floater lands just fair down that left field line. Good example here, Len. You don't have to be fast to be a good base runner. Watch this turn at second base. He's thinking 3 all the way. If Ryan Braun overthrows the cutoff man or mishandles that ball, he ends up on third base. And Steve Clevenger is, not by a long shot, one of the faster guys on this roster, but he is a good base runner.
See if the bottom of the order can produce a run after the leadoff double. Johnson gets a start in center.
Clevenger with that little floater turns the corner at first. I said he's not real fast, but he's a good base runner. Hit the bag with the right foot, cut the corner sharply at second base with some momentum just in case anything went wrong. And when he saw that the throw was on line back to third base, he slammed on the brakes and held it second with a double.
Second start of the year for Reed. And that will get the Cubs on the board. Clevenger will score easily on an RBI single from Reed Johnson. It's 1-0.
Couple of softly hit balls produced the first run of the game for the Cubs. Reed Johnson got jammed a little bit, but muscles that fastball out into shallow left center field. Once again, Steve Clevenger with a great read at second base. Knew where the outfielders were positioned. He knew that the shortstop could not get back in time to make the play, so he takes off from second, scores easily.
Garza pushes a bunt, foul.
Good jump at second and no hesitation whatsoever. You have to know where the defenders are in order to get that kind of a jump off of second base, and I'm sure Reed Johnson is very appreciative of that.
The Cubs have had their issues getting bunts down, even after all that extra work in spring training. So this is game 7. The Cubs have now had a lead in 6 of the first 7. And Garza offered at it. That's a strikeout. It's David DeJesus. These guys are former Kansas City teammates. Not only that, but DeJesus has played a fair amount of center field, so he's had a similar view of Zach Greinke that we do with our center field camera.
You bring up a good point, Len. If you think about it, the guys who should have the best scouting report on a pitcher that they played on the same team with obviously would be the catcher, the second baseman and shortstop, because they can see every pitch as it gets into the hitting area, and the guy that plays center field. Corner outfielders, corner infielders are probably at a bigger disadvantage than somebody that plays up the middle of the field with a pitcher that was a former teammate. Of course, with all the video and everything that is available to the players nowadays, it's probably not as important as it used to be.
And I would also think once you get to a certain point in terms of how good a pitcher is, it not even really matter how well a guy knows Zach Greinke. He's on his game. He's on his game.
Yep. If he's commanding all 5 of his pitches, it doesn't really matter how many times you've played behind him or how many times you've caught him in the past.
They're going to go in. Johnson has to hold.
I'll tell you, Len, after seeing Jonathan Lucroy for a full season last year and the Brewers run into the playoffs and then watching him throughout the Cactus League in this series so far, he's quickly becoming one of the best defensive catchers as far as receiving, blocking. Ooh.
Just foul. The Brewers are in pretty good shape with both their catchers, Lucroy and the backup Kataris.
And obviously in the past with Prince Fielder and moving forward with the lineup that they have now, scoring runs doesn't appear to be much of an issue for the Brewers, and they've got a strong starting rotation, a strong tail end of their bullpen. A defensive catcher is very important on a team like the Milwaukee Brewers.
Ground ball, base hit. Johnson stops at second. 3 hits this inning.
Remember the double play Starlin Castro turned earlier in the ballgame. Look how far off of the bag Alex Gonzalez was playing that time for David DeJesus. That ball just trickled up the middle of the field for a base hit. Very similar to the one that Starlin Castro caught and started the 6-3 unassisted double play.
Brewers at double play depth all around as Darwin Barney gets ready to hit for the second time. And it will be a base hit into center. An RBI single for Darwin Barney. So Reed Johnson with an RBI and a run this inning, 2-0.
Another ball hit out near the end of the bat, floated over the head of Ricky Weeks at second base, and another great read by Reed Johnson this time at second base. Very similar to the base running play by Steve Clevenger. You saw no hesitation. If Reed Johnson has to turn around and wait to see if that ball's going to land on the grass or not, he's not going to be able to score on that base hit. But because he got such a great jump off the bag, he knew where the defenders were, he's able to score the second run of the game.
4 hits, 2 runs in the inning. Now the heart of the order. Outside ball 1 on Castro. Well, we talked about Greinke. You'd rather face him in your home park. Last year, Greinke faced the Cubs 3 times. The 2 times in Milwaukee, he won. And the 1 start here in the middle of June, the Cubs won, scoring 8 times in 5 1/3.
Another one of those hitters counts for Starlin Castro that we talked about last night. 2-0 and 3-1. We've seen him be a lot more aggressive with his swing. Hey. Pitcher's pitch that time right down at the bottom of the knees. Never understood the purpose of that particular inside move to second base. It looked nothing like his delivery to home plate. The idea is you try to disguise it enough so that runner at second base thinks you're going to deliver the ball to home plate. That last pickoff attempt looked nothing like his delivery to home plate.
Castro out into center, another base hit. Coming around third is DeJesus. He will score 3-0.
All right, keep the line moving. Starlin Castro, after what turned out to be a good take on the 2-0 pitch, even though it was a strike, he gets a breaking ball in the strike zone and dunks it in front of Nyjer Morgan in center field. That time DeJesus had to spin around. That ball was hit a little harder, a little deeper into the outfield. Needed to see whether it was going to drop or be caught, and still able to score easily as Nyjer Morgan's throw short hopped the shortstop out in the middle of the infield.
So 3 runs on 5 hits, putting 3 in a row. And low to Soriano. Greinke went 7 innings in his season debut, gave up 4 hits. He's allowed 5 in this 3rd inning alone. Lucroy and Greinke trying to get on the same page. There it is. But a little more breathing room. Pop a big one here, double that lead.
I was just thinking the same thing, Len. Singles and doubles are nice. We like those a lot, especially when you can bunch them together the way the Cubs have here in this inning. But never hurts to hit a big ball once in a while, too. Give a little breathing room.
Runners will both advance. And a wild pitch.
We talked about it throughout the early part of the season. We talked about it all spring. The improved base running, and the Cubs are going to run into some outs from time to time because of that aggressiveness, but always alert to that ball in the dirt. That time Darwin Barney got a tremendous jump off second. Starlin Castro trailed him. Now 2 Cubs in scoring position for Fonzie.
Infield in. 2-2 on the way. Busted bat floater. They'll get 2 more. As Barney and Castro score 5-0.
Well, this is kryptonite to Soriano. Normally that slider off the outside corner, but just gets enough of the bat on it to float it over the drawn in infield. Played a couple more runs.
So Rick Kranitz out to visit Greinke, and for whatever reason, pitching in a road uniform has been kryptonite to Greinke. Stewart now the 8th Cub to bat here in this 5-run inning. Soriano takes off for second. Here's a throw. Save.
I never thought I'd see the day when we would see a stolen base by Alfonso Soriano and Aramis Ramirez in the same series. Ramirez got one the first game of this 4-game series, and now Soriano takes advantage of Greinke not paying attention. Got a great jump at first. The second of the 2 stolen bases last season, rather. First this year. Well, I'll tell you, it's good that he made it, no question about it, but even more importantly, he feels good enough with his legs at this point of the season that he feels like he can run.
Well, 5 times he has stolen at least 30 bases. Those days are long past. And he is running a lot better than in years past. There's a bouncer that'll get through as they overshifted to the right on the infield, and Ian Stewart finds the big hole on the left side and makes it 6-0.
Well, and the reality of the Cubs offense this year is if they're going to score runs, they're going to have to do a lot of what they've done this inning. Smart, aggressive base running, smart hitting. He knew he had a big hole on that left side of the infield, so Ian Stewart just rolled a ground ball through that side to drive home Alfonso Soriano after the stolen base.
Well, the Cubs have already set their team high for runs scored in a game this inning, 6. And Parra just got up. They scored 5 in a loss on Monday night. So LaHare, the 9th Cub, Clevenger started it, is on deck. Bouncer to first. They'll try to turn 2. It'll go 3 to 6 to 3 to end the inning, but 6 big ones for the Cubs. And Matt Garza back to work on the mound, leading big.
Top quality lobster is all we catch.
Get it now at Red Lobster's Lobster Fest. 12 tempting choices like Lobster Lover's Dream or Maine Lobster and Shrimp, but only for a short time. Now at Red Lobster.
I'm Laura McLennan, and I see food differently.
Hey, how you guys doing tonight?
When Bill Larson's brakes started squeaking. When Pam Summers' check engine light went on. And before Tom headed out on vacation. They all came here. Midas. Total car care. Total customer care. That's the Midas touch.
I just wanted to say a few words. Thank you for the lovely meal, Jane.
Mom.
And maybe this is just the cake talking, but let's celebrate.
Buy any KFC 10-piece meal or larger and get a free double chocolate chip cake.
The 4th inning is brought to you by the 4th meal from Taco Bell, open 1 a.m. or later. Big offensive inning for the Cubs, but it all started on the half inning before when Matt Garza went out to the mound and struck out Zach Greinke, Ricky Weeks, and finished it off with a punch out of Niger Morgan. The offense came to the plate and really got the bats going.
Looking for that shutdown inning after his team gave him 6 big runs. Looking for the perfect place to entertain your best customers and guests this summer? Well, the new Nuveen Investment Suites can accommodate anywhere from 15 to 55 guests and include food, beverage, and parking. To book your premier experience at the ballpark, visit Cubs.com/suites or call 773-404-4200. Well, this offense can score runs in bunches. You take all the offensive support you can get. As Matt Garza faces Ryan Braun. And at the knees on a fastball. Braun walked in the opening inning. And a fly ball to right. Long run for DeJesus. Still going after it. The slide, the catch over the front of the bullpen mound. What a play by DeJesus.
David DeJesus looking up into that bright afternoon sun. He knows he's getting close to that bullpen mound. That ball just tailed into foul territory. Great sliding catch for the first out of the inning. Boy, you definitely don't want to give Ryan Braun new life at the plate. David DeJesus going all out to make the play right there.
He played that like a guy who has played a lot of right here at Wrigley Field, but this week's the first time ever for him. Deep breath by Garza and an 0-1 to Corey Hart. Inside 1-1.
Well, there's no question the right field at Wrigley provides challenges to right fielders that no other ballpark does. Between the bricks, the ivy, the well area out there right behind David DeJesus.
Candy hop for Castro.
You've got that foul line tucked right up against the side retaining wall. You've got the bullpen mounds nearly on the foul line. The basket.
You've got a large body of water about a mile behind your back. That's the cause of some interesting wind directions too.
If you can play right field here, you can play right field anywhere. We used to always be so impressed with Ryan Ludwig when he came here to Wrigley as a visitor, whether it be a member of the Cardinals or the Padres. He played right field like he belonged here.
Gamble is out. That's the way you do it if you're Matt Garza. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Cubs 6, Brewers nothing.
Tomorrow, one comedy is a no-brainer. The Three Stooges. Rated PG. Tomorrow.
Do you work for Toyota?
Yes.
Is it true the 2012 Camry has a lot of new features but costs less than last year?
Yes.
How is that even possible? I mean, is this thing even working? Do you find yourself uncontrollably attracted to me?
No.
No, it's working.
Right now, lease a brand new 2012 Camry LE for just $199 a month. And get a lot for less. Toyota.
Meatball marinara with pepperoni is amazing.
So good.
Pepperoni makes all my subs taste so much better. How much I love ya.
See the game last night?
Of course I did.
Yeah.
It's good.
Get to Subway pronto for our fresh takes on pepperoni with the Manjalicious Meatball Pepperoni Melt and Chicken Pizziola Melt. Subway, eat fresh.
Tomorrow, one comedy is a no-brainer.
Here you go. Catch.
The Three Stooges.
Rated PG.
Time now for today's Xfinity high-speed action. And the Cubs have really run the bases well since the first day of spring training.
Oh, and you love to see it come into play during the course of a ball game during the regular season. Their aggressive heads-up base running in this ball game has presented them some opportunities to score runs and extend the inning. This positive reinforcement for all the hard work they put in down in Arizona.
Well, the Cubs leading big and trying to add on. Steve Clevenger started the 6-run third with a double down the left field line, and he'll lead off the fourth as well. I don't know if you saw this pretty cool Jeff Francoeur story. Francoeur, the right fielder for the Kansas City Royals, really good guy. Well, here's an example of that. Yesterday, the Royals playing in Oakland. Francoeur has quite a fan club in Oakland. He had 20 pizzas delivered to his group out in section 149 at the Coliseum. It was a day after the second annual Bacon Tuesday, as it has now been dubbed. He threw a ball last year wrapped in a $100 bill into the seats right above where he plays right field. And he told the fans to buy bacon or beer with that $100 bill. So now they're huge Francoeur fans, even though they're A's fans. And I guess he just wanted to thank them and got them all personal pizzas yesterday. Now that's how you do it.
Yep. Well, he instantly became one of my favorites. Anybody that likes pizza enough to send it to the whole section, that's a good guy.
The only time the Royals will be in Oakland this season. But he's got a bunch of fans in Northern California who will be following and rooting him on for the rest of his career.
He threw the ball with a $100 bill and told him to buy bacon or beer.
Yeah.
I'm betting they bought more beer than bacon.
Probably. Steve Clevenger playing the leadoff man here, working a 3-2 count against Zach Greinke. Left field again for Clevenger. Fair ball. He's got a couple of doubles.
We've seen a lot of exaggerated shifts in this series by both teams. With the feeling the Brewers are going to line all their defenders up right down the left field line for Steve Clevenger. Really weighted back on that pitch well. Keeps it just fair down the third base line. And another good start to the inning here. Just the way the third inning started with a Steve Clevenger double.
Well, Steve Clevenger caught Jeff Samardz's gem on Sunday. He's catching a shutout through 4 today, and he's added some much needed offense to this lineup.
Just a little too far out in front of that one. Reed Johnson busted it out of the batter's box, but then realized that ball was going to hook into foul territory. That Greinke, that last inning gave up a lot of hits, although they weren't hit very hard. But the Cubs are starting to get better swings on him second and third time through the order. Nothing. All the runs coming in the third. And it all started here in this part of the order. Clevenger and Johnson.
Johnny Damon's signed with the Indians. Just have to complete the physical. They've been looking for some help in their outfield with Grady Sizemore out to start the year. Do another 3-2 coming up.
A couple of long at bats to start this bottom half of the fourth inning, and with that pitch count creeping up, Manny Parra once again begins to warm it up down in that Brewers bullpen. Pitch number 7 on the way to Reed Johnson.
And he couldn't hold up. That's a strikeout. Matt Garza. Not a bunting situation with a runner already in scoring position. And 1 out. Well, Pat Burrell is going to sign a 1-day minor league contract with the Phillies. And they'll hold a retirement ceremony on May 19th. I ran into Pat in Scottsdale during spring training. As he moves ahead and does something else, I think might dabble in some scouting, try to figure out what it is he wants to do in the game of baseball.
Well, he's always been one of my favorites, Len. I had a personal experience when my son Michael was being recruited by the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Went to visit the campus one weekend, and on Sunday afternoon we were flying back to Scottsdale, and Matt Garza chases one in the dirt. Lucroy will have to throw to first for the out. And Pat Burrell was in the airport. I believe they had one of those home run derbies over at Cashman Field in Vegas, and he was flying back home after the home run derby, and I went over and talked to Pat for a minute, introduced my son Michael to him, and from that day forward, every time I have seen Pat Burrell, he always asks, "How's your boy Michael doing?" And it made such a big impression on my son, and he's just one of the good guys in the game. I always rooted for him.
But he handled playing in Philadelphia and dealing with those rabid fans very well.
Plus, he had the swing of a home run hitter, and it was just a thing of beauty when he would catch one out in front of home plate and hit one of those high arcing home runs into the night. He was the very definition of a home run hitter. He didn't get cheated. You never saw him shorten up and try to punch the ball into right field.
Two strikes on DeJesus. Clevenger started the inning with a double. He is still at second with 2 outs. Two and two. Barney on deck. Always good to win before you jump on the plane. And it's not going to be easy this weekend. Cubs and Cardinals. Adam Wainwright will pitch tomorrow. Jeff Samardzija will go for the Cubs and see if he can follow up the best outing of his career with another dandy. Bounced up the middle. Nice play, Alex Gonzalez, but Gamble wasn't covering first base. Cubs get their 7th run of the game. I'm not quite sure what Matt Gamble was doing.
I think Gamble was headed to the middle of the infield to be a cutoff man on a throw to home plate. He assumed Alex Gonzalez wasn't going to get to this ball.
Now this is where Gonzalez, Bob, gets charged with an error, and that's not his fault.
Not his fault whatsoever. If Gamble was on the bag at first, that's the 3rd out of the inning, and the Brewers are on their way back to the dugout.
Single, no RBI, and the error on Gonzalez, allowing the run to score and DeJesus to get the 2nd.
That's the kind of range Alex Gonzalez has. He surprises his own first baseman getting to a ball up the middle of the field. Greinke now up over the 80 pitch mark here in the 4th inning. I got to believe that his afternoon is very nearly done. You know who's really happy about this offensive outburst by the Cubs is longtime Cubs season ticket holder Bob Beck, one of our favorites. Bob celebrating his 91st birthday today. And you know he loves to see the crooked numbers for the good guys.
So I want to wish Joe Kirchen happy retirement. Joe works in the Cubs ticket office. Today is the final game he will be working after 36 years.
Good for you, Joe.
Barney takes the walk. First walk of the season allowed by Zach Greinke.
I believe Ron Renicke's already signaled to the Brewers bullpen.
It's a Honda call to the pen. Manny Parra coming on. 7-0 Cubs in the 4th.
American innovation. Dodge is bringing more of it to more people with 3 different vehicles offering 3 rows of seating, like Dodge Durango and Dodge Journey, as well as Dodge Grand Caravan, with room for up to 7 people and just about anything else. Hurry in to the Dodge Get Into Innovation event. Now, well-qualified customers can buy the 2012 Grand Caravan American Value Package for $239 a month.
Start saving automatically with AutoSave. It's one of our helpful steps. Take the first step today at BMO Harris Bank.
Let's have a ball and a biscuit, sugar, and take our sweet little time about it.
Captain Morgan, to life, love, and loot.
Time to check out our Menards ground crew, the hardest working guys at Wrigley Field on a daily basis.
Here's lefty Manny Parra. After Zach Greinke could only get through 3 2/3.
Fastball splitter curveball mix from Manny Parra.
Facing Starlin Castro. And a strike.
Manny Parra, a former starter with the Brewers, and I'm sure that's exactly why he's in the game right now. He's been stretched out. Ron Renicky just needs some innings at this point.
There's a splitter. Low and outside. It's 2-1. Base hit center field. DeJesus around third. Throw will be cut off, and they get another one. 8-0.
Well, we've heard that old cliche in the game of baseball for years. Hitting is contagious, and I think today is a perfect example of that. Cubs were having trouble stringing together good at bats, let alone getting base hits. But today, everybody that steps into that box has put together some good at bats. Been some hard hit balls, some softly hit balls, but a lot of them dropping in today.
Cubs have done it today without a home run. 8 runs on 10 hits. Only 2 extra base hits, doubles by Steve Clevenger.
That last fastball from Manny Parra appeared to cut inside and kind of caught Lucroy by surprise. Almost looked like he was crossed up on that pitch. Yeah, there's some serious issues going on right now between Manny Parra and his catcher. He crossed him up again on that pitch. Lucroy started to come up out of his crouch expecting a fastball, and Parra threw him a breaking pitch. Watch the initial movement by Lucroy. He goes up, and then the pitch comes back down, and he immediately starts out toward the mound. I think he was crossed up on the pitch before also.
Swings and misses on a splitter. 2-2. Cubs have never been swept by the Brewers in a 4-game series. And leading here 8-0. Looks like that won't happen here today. Full count. Runners will have a head start here. Barney from second, Castro at first. called strike 3 on the outside corner. But the Cubs add a couple and lead 8-0 at the end of 4.
Mine was earned off Vietnam in 1968.
Over the South Pacific in 1943.
I got mine in Iraq 2003.
USAA auto insurance is often handed down from generation to generation because it offers a superior level of protection and because USAA's commitment to serve the military, veterans, and their families is without equal. Begin your legacy. Get an auto insurance quote. USAA. We know what it means to serve.
If you believe the Mayan calendar, on December 21st, polar shifts will reverse the Earth's gravitational pull and hurtle us all into space, which would render retirement planning unnecessary. But say the sun rises on December 22nd and you still need to retire? TD Ameritrade's investment consultants can help you build a plan that fits your life. We'll even throw in up to $600 when you open a new account or roll over an old 401k. So who's in control now, Mayans?
Get everything you need for less during the Menards Project Day sale. Get a beautiful lawn with Schultz. Seeding soil is specially formulated for starting new lawns or repairing bare spots on existing lawns. It feeds for up to 3 months. Get 2 bags for just $6. Rubber-made Gentry vinyl mailboxes feature a convenient rear door and have a durable construction that won't rust, crack, or dent. Available in white, black, or brown. $39.99 after rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Qdoba is giving the first 20,000 fans the chance to win free food. The Cubs get a base hit in the 5th inning. Fans with a base hit for Burrito's game card will win a free entree. And while we've got a second, it's time for today's AT&T Mobility Trivia question. Who is the last Cubs pitcher to record his 1,000th strikeout with the Cubs?
And Ryan Dempster able to get to that mark yesterday. Alex Gonzalez will start the 5th against Matt Garza, who works with the biggest Cubs lead of the season. .57 when we started. Well, the wind is blowing in off the lake, not terribly hard. Makes it feel a little warmer. Line drive up the middle, but Darwin Barney, the man on the spot.
Well, the Cubs defensive positioning has come into play on a couple of well hit balls in this game. I mean, that's a base hit 99 times out of 100, but Darwin Barney positioned almost directly up the middle of the field, only had to move a step or two to make the play.
Fastball strike to Lucroy. Book closed on Zach Greinke, 3 2/3, 9 hits, 8 runs. They were all earned. Walked 1, struck out 5. Oh, 2.
Lucroy trying to slow Matt Garza down a little bit here. Stepped out of the box a couple of times.
Ian Stewart looks it in. We got in the habit of sampling ballpark food around the major leagues last season, and we may have to try when we go to Washington this season, the new Strasburger. Have you heard of it?
No.
It costs $59. It's 8 pounds. If you're watching your calories, it would be about 5 days worth of calories.
Well, you can get it as part of the Strasburger Happy Meal as well. It comes with 50 pounds of potatoes and a 55-gallon drum of soda.
Here's Torres with a ground ball to Darwin Barney. Short toss to LaHare, and the inning is over. And Garza has been strong today. He's allowed just 1 hit and has a huge lead.
We have more than 3,000 daily flights on Southwest Airlines, and that gives you thousands of options to fly. Where you want, when you want. Starting June 3rd, you can fly our new nonstop service from Midway to Oklahoma City for just $160 one way. Book all of our destinations only at southwest.com.
Like the Rockies themselves, Coors Banquet Beer is an American original. It's only brewed in one place, Golden, Colorado, because that's where we find our Rocky Mountain water and the best high country barley. Now maybe that's uncompromising, and maybe brewing up here means an extra trip or two. But as you know, originals follow their own road. Coors, the banquet beer.
I just wanted to say a few words. Thank you for the lovely meal, Jane.
Mom.
And maybe this is just the cake talking, but let's celebrate.
Buy any KFC 10-piece meal or larger and get a free double chocolate chip cake.
Tonight, it's a first-round showdown with the Coyotes as the Blackhawks kick off their quest for Lord Stanley's Cup. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Chevy Blackhawks pregame live. Blackhawks, Coyotes, Game 1, tonight at 8:30 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Hi, I'm David Kaplan here with a Coors Light Cold Blast Sportsnet Central update. Huge night tonight. We'll update Derrick Rose's playing status with a live preview of the Bulls and Heat for the Madhouse on Madison. Plus, Sarah Kustok live with the Blackhawks in Phoenix as they embark on Game 1 of their Stanley Cup journey. Much more on these stories tonight on Sportsnet Central and CTL. Right now, back to Len and Bob at Wrigley.
Cap, thank you very much. Cubs lead 8-0. Tickets are available now for the 2012 Cubs season, including the next homestand against division rivals, the Reds and Cardinals, April 20th through the 25th. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office. Ian Stewart way out in front. Of a Manny Parra pitch. I want to send out happy birthday wishes to 9-year-old Brian Dorr from Park Ridge, Illinois. Hope you're doing all right on your birthday, Brian. Cubs leading 8-0. Hopefully makes him feel a little better. Two and two on Ian Stewart. Base hit into center. Ian Stewart has a couple of knocks.
Much more controlled approach today from Ian Stewart, not trying to overpower the ball, just putting a nice quick swing on it, trying to barrel it up, and he's hit the ball hard a couple times. It's his 4th hit in 6 trips. Lifetime against Manny Parra. Hangs in there well against the Brewers lefty.
The Cubs went down in order in the 1st and the 2nd. And since then, they have 11 hits. As he and Stewart needed the hand protector. Left wrist caused him some problems last year and might not be 100% for a while.
And very easy to injure a wrist or a hand when you're sliding on the bases. Even if you slide feet first, a lot of guys have a tendency to drag a hand behind them as they slide. And that protective guard that Stewart wears on his left wrist keeps him from hopefully hyperextending or hyperflexing that wrist.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
I'll tell you, Len, it happens every time when you see an offensive outburst like we've seen from the Cubs in the 3rd and 4th inning, and Ian Stewart leading off here in the 5th. Somebody's got to make the outs. And for Brian LaHare, he's made 4 outs in 3 at-bats today.
You were always so practical. Somebody's got to make the outs.
It's a good team player.
Well, you know, it's good to see Steve Clevenger get a couple of hits as a starter. If you get too many hits as a pinch hitter, then you get pigeonholed, right?
Yep.
This could be trouble here as Morgan will make the catch. And he just threw one away, backed up by Lucroy as he was trying to double off Stewart. Morgan ended up on the infield grass, or the infield dirt rather.
He just tries to throw on the run right there. Ian Stewart was looking right at the play, was only about a quarter of a way down to second base. An unnecessary throw by Nyjer Morgan, but didn't hurt anything because his catcher Jonathan Lucroy was right there to back up the play.
Johnson down the right field line and out of play. Couldn't get the splitter. 0-2. The big inning for the Cubs, a 6-run, 7-hit third off Zach Greinke. Got him to end the inning. Cubs strand Stewart at first, but have a healthy 8-0 lead after 5.
Hi, Mom. I got it.
Bravo, Alex. You're officially an actress. And waitress, dog walker, and flower hand router, but mostly an actress. You just booked the coveted role of coffee patron number 4.
I even have a line. My line is a latte, please. I don't know, is she French? You know? Latte, please.
Good thing AT&T gives you unlimited calling to any mobile, so you can call everyone.
I know I have to say latte, but I feel like my character would drink tea.
Get unlimited calling to any mobile phone on any network when you get unlimited messaging. Rethink possible.
The Chicago Cubs strongly encourage the use of public transportation. The CTA offers a variety of options, including the Red Line, which stops right at Wrigley Field at the Addison Station. If you must drive, try the remote parking operation at DeVry University. Located near the Addison and Rockwell intersection, the remote lot offers parking and an express bus for just $6. For another option, try riding your bike. The Cubs provide a free bike check at the car wash at Clark and Waveland. For more details, call the CTA hotline at 773-836-7000 or visit Cubs.com.
The Can-Am Renegade 1000 XXC with the most powerful engine in the industry. The Outlander 1000 XT with a redesigned chassis for unequal trail riding. The Commander 1000 Limited, the most equipped, luxurious side-by-side in the industry. The facts say it's the most advanced lineup out there, but the ride says it all. Buy now and start riding for as low as $149 a month on select models.
Only Taco Bell can take real nacho cheese Doritos and turn them into the shell of a Taco Supreme. Just when you thought all the really good ideas were taken. Introducing the new Doritos Locos Tacos from Taco Bell.